So, Everton lose again. They lose 2-0 to Leicester. Leicester played really, really well. They got in the lead and they pushed on, got a second goal. Now, I've noticed with Everton, I would say, literally from the start of the season till now, they're looking not very confident in themselves. And watching the highlights from Match of the Day too, they literally, looking at the highlights package, now this is only like a few minutes of the game and the key points. Yeah, no, there was no real urgency about the side. None. They're not picking up runs deep. They're allowing the opposition to have movement. But when they were going forward, and you look at their penalty shout, which was their best bit of play in the whole game, they've started to play when they're behind by 2 goals. Now, Unsworth really got them at least battling in the second half. But 1.5 good games does not get you a job. They've got to play a lot better against Lyon in the week, and then in the Watford game coming up. They're the 2 key games coming up, is the European football and the next league game. And Watford are doing really... I've had a couple of wobbly results, and they're going to be angry. And they play with pace and intensity. And that's something that Everton are lacking at the moment. So Unsworth has got now half a week, 3-4 days to really work with this side. Like, really now start stamping his message across. And he is a club man. And he might have a better insight of what's going right and wrong with the team, because they haven't got an out-and-out striker who's confident, unless they want to go for one of his youth players, which is, I think, possibly their only choice. They have an ageing centre-back pair between Jagielka and Williams, a combined age of nearly 70, I think 68, 69, something like that. So that's not good. Baines and Coleman are not bombing on as much as they used to, because they've now got to try and defend more, because the midfield is so rigid. I say rigid because they're not really working as units. They're trying to work as individuals, and they're lacking confidence. It's plain. It's plain to me that the team are lacking confidence. And looking at yesterday, and the 2 goals they conceded, yeah, it's not pretty viewing. It really isn't. And going forward, what do? They've got 2 months to the transfer window, so they've got 2 months where they're stuck with this squad and a couple of fringe players, in the youth and the reserves, to call upon. So if David Unsworth does get this job, he's got 2 months of very hard work ahead, because they haven't picked up any points now in a while. So I don't think they've scored any points in October. I'm not sure. I don't think they've actually picked up any points this month. They're struggling in Europe, and they're struggling domestically. So there are worries there. And now that the FA Cup is coming around, because the first round of the FA Cup is this weekend, so they haven't got long till they play in the FA Cup. I think it's a month's time, the 3rd round starts. So they haven't got long until another domestic competition starts. Now, a good cup run can help confidence of the side. So we'll have to see on that one. But I look at their game against Lyon. That is key. Just to get, even if it's a draw, and show that they can fight and do something, is crucial, because their European campaigns and also not been great. And I don't know why I'm just focusing on Everton, because Leicester are completely opposite. They've turned they're clearly getting out of trouble. Puel, he is hit and miss with the fans. A lot of fans are critical of the fact that when he was at Southampton, his Southampton side didn't score much. But they didn't concede much. They finished 8th. They got to a cup final. If you, in your first season, and you're told to grow the team, get them to their highest league position in several years, and get them to a cup final, and had every chance of winning that cup final, and you get fired, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? So he's not a bad manager. I think he had to work with the players he had. But he grew that Southampton side. And Southampton could be guilty of not being the most ruthless side in the league at the moment. And they also are probably lacking a centre forward. But they're hard to play against, and no one likes playing against them. That's why they are where they are. So, and they've got some good players who are underrated. So Leicester still kept Appleton as assistant. Buell's now in charge. Win 2-0, playing Leicester football, their cultured football, their way of playing, which is breaking down an opposition attack, attacking off that opposition ball, running up the end of the pitch, having movement in the box, pick a quick ball in. It doesn't matter who's running into that box. It could be a Jamie Vardy, it could be a Mahrez, it could be even a midfielder bombing forward. Back of the net. Done. Right. Even Wes Morgan was having shots in open play, so that says something. Second phase, off a corner, but I class that as open play now. There's several touches of the ball, it's open play. So, two contrasting fortunes. Both sacked their managers a week apart. One has not lost a game since they sacked their manager, they've won all 3. One's lost all 3. Or 2. Yeah, 2. Yeah. So one's got a 100% record of winning, and one's got a 100% record of losing. There are other issues for Everton. You've got to look at the squad. And you can also look at the other results. You have to look at the other results around them and how the team's played. Because Palace pick up a draw from 2-0 down, which is something Everton couldn't do yesterday. So Palace is showing fight, and they're only 4 points off Everton now. Bournemouth only losing 1-0 to Chelsea. Yes, they lost, but their goal difference is significantly better. Swansea losing 2-1. Yeah, they lost, but their goal difference is also better than Everton's. Everton's have got the second worst goal difference in the league. Now, I've seen the title won on goal difference before, and I've seen teams relegated from leagues on goal difference before. Goal difference could be exceptionally crucial, vital, and Everton's goal difference at the moment does not fill me with confidence. And I've done a lot of videos on Everton in the last month or so on this channel, and I don't want to focus on one particular club. I had a little focus on Leicester when they sacked Ray Shakespeare. I'm not focusing on them anymore because they're now mid-table and you just wouldn't know they were in trouble. I've done a couple of little videos on Palace, but it's so obvious the problem with Palace. I don't need to make videos on it because I could do a video on each day of the week for Palace. I've done videos on Rangers lately, and I've done some on Newcastle. It's not as if I'm focusing on picking on one particular club having issues or doing really well. But you guys, Everton, there is something glaring about Everton. All these other teams that have had issues with management or finances, they seem to still, apart from Palace, we'll leave Palace aside because they've only won the one game, but they've drawn, they've got 4 points. But apart from Crystal Palace, every other team that has had issues with their manager or money side of things are still entertaining. They're still doing something. They're still showing something. Everton are showing me nothing apart from lack of confidence. I don't know what Ronald Koeman did to this side, but he's clearly broken them. I want a refund. Like, they have no drive about them. They look bereft of confidence and will. It looks like they haven't got the will to take that chance and take a risk because they look nervous. They look afraid to think for themselves. They did play better the last couple of games. I'm not doubting that David Unsworth is really trying. And David Unsworth looks like the type of guy who could murder someone. There's a reason why he's called Rhino. But he obviously has worked well with the youth setup and has done really, really well. And he will continue to do so. I have no doubt in that. They will continue to employ him as the youth coach if he's not taken on full time as manager here. I have no doubt of that. But I fear giving him the manager's job could actually damage any coaching career he's got right now. I think this Everton side are in deep trouble. And the transfer window is 2 months away. So they've got to figure out a solution to their problems quick. Because 2 months until transfer window, when you can bring players in and offload players who are either not fitting in or want to move, you've got nothing. You can't do anything for 2 months. So they've got 2 months to fix this. And it's not looking good. They need to have a performance in Europe against Lyon. They really need to put out a showing, and that's away from home now, and that's a tough ground. And Lyon play well at home and have good home record. I think at one point in the French league, back at the turn, about 10-15 years ago, they were unbeatable at home. They turned that stadium into a fortress, and their fans are vocal and loud. So they need to silence that crowd, which they're going to struggle. Then they've got to play Watford. And Watford are smarting off the 2 back-to-back defeats where they could see themselves as unlucky and unfortunate, and they are going to be also fired up. They don't want to lose again. They want to get back into stride, back in the top 4 or 5 positions. So yeah, they've got to struggle ahead of Everton. Have got problems. I can see David Unsworth being the right fit for the Everton job, but him getting the job, I don't know. If they go from someone on the outside, is it going to help? It's going to be another confusing message. So we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, I've ranted enough. I do feel sorry for Everton. I'm not going out there to knock Everton, but the team that they put out yesterday and the way they're playing over the last since the season started leads me to believe that there is some other issues apart from just Ronald Koeman being the manager and getting sacked. Because Ronald Koeman's gone now. He's been gone for over a week. Nearly 2 weeks. So I have no doubt that Koeman was part of the problem and there are issues there, but those players should be glad that they've got a new voice to listen to, and they haven't quite. They did reasonably well in the cup, and they did average yesterday in the second half. But those players look nervous and unconfident, and David Unsworth has only had a limited time to get his message through to the main squad. Now, what does he do? Does he promote a couple more of his youth players, give them a run out and give them a chance, and say to the seasoned veterans, this is how I want you to play? Look at the confidence this guy's got. This guy's running at people, and young players will make mistakes. But at least they have no fear. And this team is full of it. And I can understand why you, the Everton fans, are not happy. I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen it on other YouTube channels. I've seen it as responses to actual media sites when they leave place your comments below, how respond to this article. I can see how people around Everton Football Club are not happy with what's happening at that football club. And they spent big this summer. And Sigurdsson has been irrelevant this season. Rooney was picked up on a free, and I think he does want to do well at Everton and play out his rest of his playing days there and retire a club legend and a Man United legend, an England football legend. He has scored a few goals, but he hasn't scored in a while, and he's on a bit of a downward spiral in form and fitness. He's not what he was 5-10 years ago. And that Everton side have got Williams and Jagielka, again, nearly 70 combined age between them. That's old. They're both in their mid to late 30s. Rooney's, I think, 31, 32. So they're not the youngest side when it comes to some of their players. The goalkeeper is young. I think it's Jordan Pickford. He's young. They haven't really got an experienced goalkeeper who can have an experienced voice at the back. Leighton Baines has been dropped by England, so he's not on form. James Coleman not on form. So their defensive line is not performing well anyway, and they are experienced players. Their midfield, Sigurdsson just doesn't look a good fit. Either he hasn't bedded in well, or he's just not confident, or he's not fully fit. Something's not right there. Morales obviously did have a severe leg break a few years back, and I don't think he's quite back to form yet. No centre forward. They've sold Lukaku for bringing in what? Anyway, I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm not going to gripe anymore. I don't want to put Everton fans down, but your club has problems. David Unsworth has got an uphill struggle for the next 2 games. And then after that, we'll see if he's given the job or not, or whoever comes in. And I do feel sorry for David Unsworth, I really do, because he's only in temporary charge and he has a limited time in which to work with this group of players and try and get his message across before he's either given the yay or nay. And if they get battered against Lyon and struggle against Watford, he doesn't get the job. And I feel sorry for him because he's done really well with the youth setup, and he's done well encouraging those players to play and to be confident. And then he's come into the senior side, which is completely the opposite. There doesn't appear to be any confidence in that team whatsoever. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll have another video for you a bit later on. I did go on a bit in this video, but there was so much to discuss. Please like and subscribe, comment below.